Good evening, everyone. Let's move to the presentation exploring green features that make building material green. This is the outline of the presentation. Let's move to the research background. Actually, the construction industry consumes 40% of total energy, 17% from usable water, and emit 35% of carbon dioxide to the air. Construction sector is one of foremost sector for environmental pollution and it creates negative impacts to the environment. Therefore, government and environmental organization focuses their attention to sustainable construction to mitigate such environmental impacts. The green buildings can be identified as a product to achieve the sustainability of the construction. Current construction industry make an attention on green material rather than non-green material with the development of green building concept. Let's move to the research problem. Actually, there are lack of clear instruction and precise features of green building material is a challenge to use of green building materials. No evidence has been reported exploring green features of green building materials in Sri Lankan building sector. There is a lack of knowledge and understanding concerning of green features that qualify the building materials as green building materials, especially in the Sri Lankan context. Therefore, this research attempt to propose green features for green building materials considering various factors that are critical for sustainable development. This is the research process and qualitative approach was selected as the research approach for this research. Expert interviews and document reviews were used as a data collection method for the research. Moreover, expert validation process was used to validate the data collected from the expert interviews and document review. Let's move to the literature findings. Actually, the literature findings focuses on the what are the green features that qualify the material as green material. The one-off feature can be identified as recycled content. The recycling is the process of converting waste material into a new form of product. This recycling process becomes advantage to reduce the waste as well as the environment impact associated with the raw material extraction process. Collecting, processing, manufacturing new product is the basic process of the recycling. The recycling percentage will vary from product to product and the steel can be identified as the 100% recycling material. In this table, we can identify it as the recycled material used in the construction industry and the usage of those recycled material in the construction industry. The next feature can be identified as reusability of building material. There are there are different kind of reusabilities can be identified in the construction industry. Those are adaptive reuse, relocation, and component reuse. The existing whole structure reuse is called as adaptive reuse. Moving the existing structure into the new place can be identified as the relocation. Actually, this relocation is most common feature in the construction industry because there are temporary office buildings are mandatory for the construction industry. Therefore, most probably the container boxes are used as the temporary office buildings and those temporary office buildings can be relocated in perfectly. The next reusable method is the component reuse. The component reuse is the process of reuse component or part of the component to the new construction projects. However, in this table, we can identify some reusable elements in the buildings and how they can be reused and how they can dispose. The next feature can be identified as rapidly renewable material. The renewable material mean the material which are plant-based material and generate within 10 years of period or less than that period. Hemp, timber, and bamboo are some renewable natural material used in the construction industry. Renewable material generating percentage vary from material to material. Let's take oak and bamboo as an example for the natural renewable material. And however, these bamboo become regenerating within 2 3 years. However, this oak take more than 6 years for they are mature. Therefore, material generating percentage is a critical point when selecting the renewable material for the construction projects. Let's move to the research findings. Actually, those features were collected from the data collection method through the expert interviews and document reviews. According to that, the features can be identified as recycled content, use of rapidly renewable material for the production process, reuse of material, locally availability of material, embodied energy of material, usage of waste material for the production process, material wastage content in the production process, pollution prevention in the production process. Let's move to the conclusion of the presentation. According to the literature, recyclability of the material, reusability of the material, and use of rapidly renewable raw material are considered as the green features that qualify the building material as green building material. The empirical investigation confirmed the features identified in the literature and further added locally availability of material, embodied energy of material, usage of waste material for the production process, material wastage content in the production process, and pollution prevention in the production process as green features. Overall, this study has explored more features in addition to the literature. The findings of this study will provide better opportunities to increase the environmental performance of their building products for building material manufacturers. This study will enable the project executors with the evaluation of the greenness of building materials to implement sustainable construction practices. The result also provide a valuable reference for building professionals to improve sustainable construction through green materials. Further research can be carried out to rate the identified green features based on the importance using different weightages. Let's move to the further research areas. Uh, Compare the elemental rate of green building with non-green buildings. Quality comparison between green building materials and non-green building materials, and suitability of utilizing green building materials to buildings in Sri Lanka can be identified as further research areas. Those are the references. And finally, thank you for all of you.